Hi, everyone. This is Don, and I have with us today Adrian Eisenberg and Kathy Funke from the Open and Affirming Committee. So I'm going to ask a couple of questions of both of you, and please share your responses. So, Kathy, what would you describe as the most important ministry component of ONA?
I think our ministry is to provide a place, a safe place for people, LGBTQ people and allies, friends, family, to come and share their experience and to share their concerns.
Great. And Adrian, on ONA, what does the service look like? What does the work behind the committee look like to you?
Well, I've been on ONA since 2017. I'm now the board chair. So I think one of the biggest things is we try to not just recruit like-minded individuals to be a part of our board. That's a very small part. We want to offer super welcoming environment and back up the church and offering a very, very welcoming environment to people who, as Kathy said, are LGBTQIA questioning, and also their families, friends, allies, and just on a regular, consistent basis, let everybody know that they are very welcome in our church, that our church made a concerted effort a number of years ago to become an open and affirming church within, the UCC, and to do anything we can in our community, locally as well as in a wider way, to support LGBTQ efforts. And I think that is really the most important thing.
Yeah. Kathy, what have you found to be most rewarding or of the biggest personal benefit from your time serving on the Open and Affirming Committee?
I think, well, number one would be the personal connection that we have with other members of our board. But we also do a lot of community outreach, and that I feel is extremely meaningful. We participate typically in the Pride Festival, in the parade, helping to the church to get a float together. We do a brunch, we coordinate that service, we participate in the Transgender Awareness Day of Awareness, TDOR, and we have supported our youth who have wanted to do an alternate prom.
Awesome. Adrian, besides the experiences that Kathy just described, is there any other meaningful experience that sticks out to you as a memory during your time serving on this committee?
Two things I can think of. One is we try to bring, usually on Pride weekend, we have a seminar at church right after the Pride service, or in between services, and I've done it several ways in the past. We've tried to bring up in some of the seminars legal issues that affect the LGBTQIA community in all realms, not just criminally or civilly, but in terms of families and things like that, which I have found to be wonderful and really useful. And we try to do that. We have tried to do that throughout the year. Also, we've had seminars on children attending schools in locally, and also in a slightly wider area, not just Alachua County, and how the school boards can be more receptive to parents and children who are LGBTQ. And then, so that's a big thing. And then I will say one other thing, which seems kind of silly, but it is certainly, I think, consensus building, and it just has historically made our board a really close board. We have a lot of, not a lot, but every 1 or 2 months, we would have some sort of event, just all of us getting together. So it's not just, I try to have a board meeting on the second Sunday of every month. We missed some this summer, and COVID has made it a little more difficult. Obviously, we've been doing them on Zoom, but we also had some just fun things, like we would meet at One Love Cafe or some other places or at someone's home and have some fun parties and invite members of the board, their families and friends to come too. And it's just really, it's just a wonderful experience. You know, everybody gets together, everybody's having fun on the same page, and it makes our board a little bit more than just, you know,
Yeah.
a rank and file church board. And although that's a hugely important thing. I think Kathy touched on something too. In the last year, although unfortunately it couldn't happen because of COVID, we had made a commitment to contribute to a queer prom in Alachua County, so that LGBTQ youth could have their own celebratory party dance, etc., for high school students. And you know, I'm so hopeful it'll happen next year. So it had to be canceled this year, but you know, things like that are just such a wonderful part of our board. And anyway,
Excellent. Very good
my
answer.
little statement on that.
Yeah, great answer. Thank you. Fellowship is definitely very important, and I served
Very
on
much
that day
so.
as well,
Mhm.
and that was one of the most important components for me too.
Mhm.
So I have a question for both of you. So I'll ask Kathy first, but it'll be a question for you too, Adrian. How does your service on ONA inspire you, connect you with others, and or nurture you spiritually? So Kathy, I'll ask you first.
Well, part of what I think my mission and how I look at myself is to be a place, a person who is open, accepting, and willing to learn. And ONA has provided that opportunity for me. You know, it helps me feel like I'm doing something in a positive direction for my family, as well as for my friends and for our community.
Great, thank you. Adrian, same question for you. How does it inspire you, connect you with others, or nurture you spiritually during your time on ONA?
Well, being on ONA has really enlightened me, both personally in terms of my belief system and also my, you know, relationships with others personally, church-wise and community-wise. It's really done a huge job to help me, I would say, expand my horizons in terms of my understanding of myself and others. And you know, we're talking about the church, but I have to say, I thought Kathy might say this too. She is a psychologist and I'm a lawyer, but it's really tremendously helped me in my practice of law to understand a lot of my clients and a lot of issues that I may not have delved into all that much in the past. And now, you know, I will say ONA was huge before marriage equality, and everybody was on board. And then since marriage equality has happened, a lot of people, I think, both in our church and our community, don't realize that there's so much more work to be done, and there's so much at risk that we could lose in a heartbeat in November. And we're already at risk and have lost. And so that has made me much more of an activist in my way. I certainly, I have a law firm and I have to work in my law firm, so I'm not, you know, out pounding the pavements and going up to Tallahassee all the time or Washington, D.C. all the time. But I have become an activist in my way, and I think it's really important. I need to support the people in the church, my friends, my family, my community, and the wider area. And I think ONA has really given me a passion to do that. And I've also learned so much more about what I should do, especially when it comes to the transgendered community, which I didn't know all that much about, or even think of some things that are actually quite obvious now that I know them. And so I'm just really happy I've been able to have the experience and learn and grow that way.
Wonderful. Well, thank you both for joining us and sharing those experiences. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, thanks, Dawn. She's got the flags. And come join us, everybody join, please. We need you.
And we have lots of fun.
We do.
True, that's very true.
Remember.
Thank you both.